Check one. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're nearly ready to start. I think those of you sitting sort of in that bar area, if you do want to move in, you'll probably be able to hear better. The sound doesn't always travel that well back there, and there are plenty of seats here. We've even gone up in the world. We've even got screens that show what's happening on stage. Like, check us out, eh? That's impressive, I think. We've even got, like, queue things here and stuff like that, you know. Roman Kemp didn't get that last year. He fell over. So there are seats, still a couple here in the first row. If you want to move in. Can you hear me at the back? Sammy, can you hear me? Oh, okay, Rob can. He obviously can't, but he's in front of. Work that one out. There'll be plenty of opportunity to take photos with Lauren, with Martin. Martin will be selling books and signing and photos and stuff like that as well in the interval. We all have a half-an-hour interval. If you haven't had your pie or your beer or your wine or your soft drink, there's still time. Just wait for the last couple of people to get their book signed. If only I had a joke or two, eh? That'd be useful. Welcome to people on the live stream. Anyone watching on the live stream? Many people watching on the stream? Is there one? Oh, fine. Well, welcome to the two people. No, I'm kidding. Welcome to you all watching. We hope you enjoy it. It is actually the first time we've ever done a live stream, so hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then we'll send you a recording. Right, how many more we got? Nigel? Oh, well, he's over there. How many we got left? It's your job. Cool. All right, let's just wait for the last 6. Hope everyone's excited. We've got a really good night ahead. A good night of fundraising for the Arsenal Foundation. And we've got 2 absolute legends here with us. Obviously, it is the 20-year anniversary, so I'm sure Martin and Lauren will share all their stories. And also, I just want to say, especially for Lauren, Lauren's actually come from Seville, where he lives. He's made the trip just to be here tonight. And he took absolutely no convincing as well. And as you know, the date changed a couple of times and stuff, but Lauren was really flexible and he really wanted to be here. So, Lauren, thank you so much for coming. Right, I think we can probably start with just people just getting the last couple of books signed, can just sort of get their book signed and stuff like that. So, welcome to another AST event, our annual event, following last year's AST 20. Thank you all for coming. Hope you've had your beer and stuff like that, or drink. And I want to start with a special message from someone who actually wanted to be here, but with the international break and stuff, it's a little bit complex. So let's just show the message, guys, first.
Hi, everyone at Arsenal Supporter Trust. Thank you for all your support for this season. We are pushing always to be the best we can be. Let's stick together, and I hope you have a great night tonight.
The Arsenal support. I'm sure we will have a great night. So, I want to introduce Mike first from the Arsenal Foundation, who's a trustee. Come and join me. I just want to ask you a couple of questions about the foundation. Just want to grab a mic. Mike, do you want to sit?
Thank you.
Do you want to sit or stand?
I'll sit. And I'm not one of the legends he referred to earlier, just to be clear, in case there's any.
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about the Arsenal Foundation. What have they been up to recently? And just a little bit about the journey for people that potentially don't know.
Okay, perfect, Akil. Thank you. Sounds really loud from where I am. I'm Mike, and I'm lucky enough to be a trustee of the foundation, have been for about the last 18 months or so. The foundation is an independent charity, so it's independent from the club, but clearly it's very heavily linked to the club. And it does primarily 2 things. Firstly, it works in the local community in much the same way as the Arsenal in the Community works. Some of you may have heard of that. That's actually the initiative that sits within the club itself. foundation sits outside of the club for independence reasons. As a charity, you have to be independent. The flagship project that the foundation does, it works with Save the Children and has done, I think, about 6 or 7 years now. There's a refugee camp in Jordan called Zaatari, and the foundation has developed, with the club, has developed Coaching for Life program, which to date has put well over 5,000 children through a coaching program. Now, one might say that it's coaching, it's football coaching, it's skills coaching. We've built the pitches. There's a parachuted coaches in initially. Now some of those children are coaches themselves, and there's a regular stream of activity. But it's much more than just football. It's life. Some of these children, they have their whole childhood in this camp, and it started out far more boys than girls, and now I think there's more girls than boys. There's certainly at least parity, which from a cultural point of view and from a gender empowerment point of view is an incredible success story, actually. And it does amazing things, and has done, I think, 2012 it started.
And why are nights like this important for the foundation?
I think they are obviously massively important. Fundamentally, we work through donations. Those donations come from many, many different places, from the club, from the players, from corporates, from high net worth individuals, but from fans. And so the money that is raised is incredible in terms of enabling us to do what we do. But I think it's also awareness. The more people that are aware of it, fans, the pride that the fans have in what the club set out to achieve and what it is achieving through the foundation. And so Leah Williamson, an absolutely outstanding, incredible person. She went out there to Zaatari maybe 2 years ago. Around about this time last year, she spoke at the United Nations in New York to the Congress about the gender empowerment elements of what the program in Zaatari was achieving. And it's got international recognition, it's got governmental recognition now in the context. I mean, governmental with a wider thing, if you know what I mean, more geopolitical in terms of what it's doing. So, and all of that is great for the club that we all love and support.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hopefully we'll raise lots of money for the foundation today, and keep up the good work.
And we really appreciate everything you do. Thank you very much.
You. I think he's forgotten his beer. Oh, it's not yours. Right, okay. Now I think we're ready to start the evening. So I want to welcome our hosts for the evening. It's Adrian and Nicole. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Wasn't your beer, was it? It was your beer. Was it yours? We got two. Oh, you got one.
You stole my beer.
Oh, sorry.
No. He was crying on the side, like, that's my beer.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We've got a really, really exciting evening planned. But first, how are you guys? Nicole, how are you?
I'm good, I'm great. It's so nice seeing so many Arsenal supporters all in one room. I love nights like this, and just also being able to, we were on the side watching everyone approaching Lauren, and we were just standing there having a drink, and we were like, this is just lovely, isn't it? And it's, you know, one big Arsenal family, and that's why we all care so much and love the club, and especially the past few seasons, you know, that atmosphere and that family side of the club seems to have really, really grown and become even stronger. So, yeah, I'm buzzing to be here, to be honest.
And also, Nicole, what also has become stronger is your match day show and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, nice link there. So for
Not
those
my
of you
first rodeo.
For those of you who don't know me or don't know about the Arsenal Matchday show, I host our show called Live from N5. We had a bit of a rebranding this season.
Yeah, I got sacked.
You know what? As I was just saying that, I was like, oh no, stop talking.
A little bit awkward.
Tiny
No,
bit.
it's fine.
I like the way
I'm
she
on
called it a
co-commentary,
rebranding.
so it's all good.
You're still heavily involved on co-commentary duties and stats man.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good, and the show's fantastic.
Anyway, moving on swiftly. No, we love each other. But it's wicked. We do an hour pre-match, and we get loads of guests, former Arsenal players, legends, loads of pop stars, actors, comedians, you name it, they come through. We had Dennis Bergkamp on the other week, and I know. Thank you, the one person who was like, wow. And I loved that. That was amazing for me. So, yeah, it's really good fun. And then we do it at halftime and then a little post-match show as well. So it's brilliant. And we do it from a box, actually, here, the My Arsenal Rewards box. And by the way, a little plug. If anyone uses the My Arsenal Rewards app or you're a member, you can use points to come and join us on the show, and it's good fun.
Yeah.
Also, you could buy a raffle ticket tonight and join them for the Aston Villa game.
Yes.
So do that as well.
Do that.
Adrian,
Evening.
I mean, we were one potential kick away yesterday at the end from a win at Stamford Bridge. Whether it was onside, offside, I don't care really. But, you know, what do you think of the game generally? And the last few weeks have been a little bit tough, haven't they?
It's been a season of what-ifs, really, for Arsenal. I think that we came so close in that particular game to winning it towards the end. And you just look at all of the big games this season. We led against Brighton, who are having a fantastic season. We're in control of that game. We get the red card. It goes against us. We drop points. Manchester City, we're about, 30 seconds away from, a monumental, epic victory. And we switch off momentarily. We drop points. Liverpool, we're in full control of that game. The better side, no doubt about it. The one time that our fullback ventures over the halfway line, they punish us. And again, yesterday, really, I thought, it was a tight game. We didn't give up chances. But really, it was a rare lapse in concentration, and Chelsea punished us, and we came so close at the other end. So, yeah, I'm actually encouraged by all of this. When you put all that together, with the bad luck, with the injuries, with the red cards, the fact that we're there or thereabouts, I think should actually provide a little bit of encouragement, because we have to get luckier. We have to in the second half of the season, and I think the team will go on a run and challenge.
Hope you're all right. Adrian, you're known for your stats, so I've told you to prepare
You did tell me to bring some stats.
So give us 5 stats that we might not know from
good.
this season.
Oh,
Well, how many
dear.
have you prepared?
Well, some are good and some are
3?
not so good. I might have 5. I might have 5.
Let's go with 5.
One that you might not know about, considering that we've had a struggle this season, it hasn't all gone to plan. There's only one team that's been behind in matches for longer than Arsenal this season. We've only been behind for 11.5% of the season so far. Nottingham Forest, believe it or not, are the only team that haven't trailed, as little as us. So I think that in itself, given our points tally and given where Liverpool are 9 points ahead of us, it should again fill us with a little bit of hope and encouragement for the season moving forwards. So I thought that's quite an interesting one. One that's not so good is in the big chances created. It's big chances are really, really important. And I think for Arsenal this season, we probably haven't been as creative as we should be. Big reliance, obviously, on Bukayo Saka. So Bukayo's made 13 big chances this season, and no one else has made more than 3. So that's quite a telling stat, and I think it shows that a lot of the other guys need to step up. Interestingly, it's Martinelli, Rice, and Martin Ødegaard, who are next in line. And Martin's barely played this season, so it just goes to show that the others need to step up a little bit. Another stat is in terms of shots inside the box. Saka and Havertz, 24. No one else more than 11. You need a little bit more from the other guys. And one player that's had 11 shots inside the box is Gabriel, centre-half. So have you ever seen a centre-back that's better at dropping a shoulder and getting past their man? It's incredible. I absolutely love watching Gabriel at corners. Couple
one
more.
That's a 2 more.
Yeah, a couple more. Very, very quickly. Look, we're almost not a third of the way through the season, but a couple of bad stats here. Shots faced, up 61% on last season. Expected goals against, up over 100% this season. So that area of our game has to get better, as does my final stat. which is second halves. Normally, down the years, I think we've all got used to Arsenal coming on strong, finishing matches with real gusto, winning it late. But it hasn't really happened for us in that department. Probably because we've had 10 men for a lot of the second halves, unfortunately. But we've only won 4 of 11 second halves. And really, if you're going to challenge for the title, you need to be up in that in the remainder of the campaign. So a few things to work on.
I was hoping a few would be positive. I mean, jeez,
Well,
man.
look, we are where we are.
Yeah,
But I genuinely believe, and I mean this, I'm not just saying this because we're in an Arsenal environment, but I do believe that Liverpool will have wobbles and that ultimately we can reel them in, but we will have to improve.
Hope so, my friend. I'm going to leave you guys to it, and best of luck. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. This is where we can run riot. Anything. Okay, I mean, you guys, this won't be a massive surprise who our first guest is tonight. A lot of you have been queuing up to meet him. He is an Arsenal legend, an invincible. He needs no introduction, really, but it is the brilliant Martin Keown. Sit down, Martin, sit down.
I remember when Adrian was sacked as a player.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Do you remember when you were doing set pieces and Bruce Rioch? I was telling Lauren actually. Bruce Rioch said, "Just clip that one to the near post, Adrian." So he had a go, and it went no near post, not far post. Yeah, you get one more go. If you don't get this right, you're not playing tomorrow. And he didn't pick you, did he?
He didn't pick me.
Oh,
no, it was
ruthless.
absolutely brutal. You know when it just someone's on your back and every time you do the next one, the pressure is on, and it just completely crumbled.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually come back from that. But while we're on the subject, no.
This has been a good night for you so far, hasn't it, Clarky?
I did try and help you though, didn't I? As a senior player, when you first got in
You
the
were
team.
fantastic. No, I'm going to be kind to you, Martin, before we get cracking. When I made my debut, it was a Boxing Day, 1995. I'll never forget it. Full debut. Queen's Park Rangers at home. We won 3-0. And I had a good game. It was, it was probably my best game in the first team. And I was sat in the bath. And old Martin loved a bath.
Well, it's in the book, actually. It starts...
It is in the book.
Yeah.
It is in the book. You do love a bath. And Martin was sat next to me, and he goes, "Clarky," he said, you've just taken one of the best right backs in the division to the absolute cleaners today, son. Well played." And you don't know how much that meant to me as a 20-year-old, because I was absolutely buzzing. I felt 10 foot tall, and the fact that I'm bringing it up now, I've remembered it. It was one of those moments, and young players need senior pros.
You underestimate me because I remember Pat Jennings, the great Pat Jennings. Remember Pat? What a fantastic player, great gentleman. And I made a block in a game, me and Tony Adams playing in the reserves. We played together at 15, me and Tony Adams. Probably Lauren doesn't even know that. We go back that long. And I make a block, and Pat comes into the dressing room and says, "That was unbelievable, one of the best blocks I've ever seen." And I was like 10 foot tall. So if I had an opportunity ever to let a young player know, because you start to realize that, I'm not saying I had a Pat Jennings-like career, but that it can resonate with a player. But it didn't work with you. You only lasted another 2 games.
Martin's come up here and absolutely two-footed Adrian.
It was wasted on him. Hey.
Clarky's been saying earlier how nice, how lovely you were to him. You just absolutely annihilated.
He knows I'm joking.
But I was going to ask you guys about this later on, but what was it like then playing alongside Martin? I mean, you've said, and we all know about your leadership qualities, but what was he like?
Oh, he was just rock hard, wasn't he? I mean, you wouldn't want to go near him in training because, Martin was quite aggressive. Once or twice it did spill over, didn't it, Martin? I mean, Lauren knows.
Lauren was worse than me.
Please share. This is a safe space.
Look, no, there were lots of... people used to wind up Martin because Martin was... when you look for a bite off someone, you got to know your people. And everybody in the Arsenal dressing room knew that they could get a bite off of Martin. He never disappointed, and it did often kick off, didn't it? 1 or 2 little flare-ups.
It was competitive. It was competitive, and it was like, obviously, when I was first a young player at Arsenal, I wasn't always happy with what I was seeing. And it was quite an alcoholic culture of drinking. And if you didn't drink, you were in the minority. And that was me. I was a little bit of an outsider because I didn't drink. Of course, that went full circle in the end with Arsene Wenger when he came in. If you were drinking, then that was really unusual. So I was much more comfortable in that type of environment. I had a few run-ins with the likes of Charlie Nicholas, and you're only a young player, so you're not really sure of the boundaries. But when he was, smelling of alcohol, it was kind of like hard for me to resist, getting him in a headlock. But and actually, I don't know what it was about me, but I had a certain way, certain set of principles, and I wasn't really going to play the card games to buy friendships. I wasn't going to go and drink in bars to get into the in-group. I was going to be me. I was trying to be me. I was trying to be old-fashioned. So that took me away from the club, really, with that set of principles. And obviously, I came back again, so to complete the circle. And I was delighted I did. I felt blessed in the end to be playing with players like Lauren, who's here tonight. We should give him a round of applause. He's come all the way from Spain. I think poor Lauren, he got fined, didn't you? I'm not sure why you got fined. It was me that should have taken the rap for everybody. And he got a couple of games that night, that infamous night at Old Trafford. I don't know if you can remember it. Can anyone remember it? Yeah. You can ask some questions in a minute.
No, honestly, I'm loving this. And you've already spoken about loads of things that I wanted to ask you about. Martin, I was going to go in a kind of chronological order, and you've just come up here and just gone, but I love that. Speaking of, because I know you speak in your book about sometimes feeling like an outsider in terms of the culture and gambling and drinking and all of that. Was it tough at times? 'Cause I know you're a man of principles, and rightly so, you were like, no, that's not me. I'm not going to just get involved in that for the sake of it and to try and buy friendships. But was that not sometimes quite difficult?
Well, my father was always a fantastic role model for me. So he as we set sail to go to London, actually, I remember going to the underpants drawer. I was there. We were in bunk beds, 3 of us, and I took all the pants and socks, and there was nothing left for my 2 brothers. So they had to take me out on a shopping trip to get what I needed for London. And my dad said to me, I remember him saying to me, right, son, when you go to London, right, we're a very religious family, so you don't speak about religion, okay? You don't drink and, pee your money against the wall. You do not play cards, and you do not gamble. And I thought, okay, where's this coming from? And within a week, all of that came to pass. Because people were in digs, they're bored, they wanted to go out for a drink, people were gambling. And I thought, wow, Dad must have read that. He must have had a crystal ball. So kind of all that unfolded in front of me. It made me very kind of like, I'm not saying I'm righteous and virtuous in the way that I was, but I was disappointed when I saw players acting in a certain way. You have to remember, it was quite bad in those days. We had a lot of players, first-team players who had, John Lukic said to me, I'm going to buy a minibus because there's so many players without a driving license. I've got to go around and pick them all up. And it literally was that bad. I remember my first discussion with George Graham, and George said, how have you found being in the first team? I said, well, it's a bit of a problem when you get to Old Trafford and I have to wait for the card game to finish so I can get off the bus. And he said, you're kidding me? I said, no. And I said, on the way home, after a very good win, 1-0 win at Old Trafford, by the way, I won there 5 times in my career, which is nice. Doing the research for this bus, we had to reroute through the West End while Charlie hopped into his leathers and Rixie as well. We dropped him off outside a West End nightclub. And I thought, this is Arsenal, and I don't know if this is completely professional. So big changes needed to come, and George Graham certainly brought that to the club.
Yeah, and of course you moved on, didn't you? You'd moved on to Aston Villa and Everton, and you sort of ended up coming back to us. How difficult was it for you to leave, and how hard was it for you to watch the guys that you'd grown up with, the class of '83, as you talk about in the book, a phenomenal group of young players, win the league title in '89 and '91? It must have been bittersweet, I guess, in a way.
Well, just to give you some sort of background. So I first came to the club in the early '80s, and I came on trial. We used to do evening training at Highbury. And slowly I started seeing players that were going to play a major part in the club's history. So in our youth team, there were 8 players that made it into the first team. So if we start with Gus Caesar and Martin Hayes, who was the top goal scorer for a couple of seasons, and then the other 6 all became full internationals. So you had Niall Quinn and Paul Merson, then you had Dave Rocastle, Mickey Thomas, Tony Adams, and myself. 2 of us captained our countries. You're looking at about 5,000 games, at top-level games. You're looking at copious league titles, medals, all for this football club. And we always talk about the 92, the group of 92. Well, no one really talks about the group of 83 that came from this club. And I'm hoping that changes now that we've written it in the book. It was a phenomenal group. I left because, honestly, the club were taking the mickey. The wages, I got into the first team. I played 23 games on the bounce. I'm 19. And they've offered me a £50 a week pay rise. And I was just like disgusted. So I leapt. I didn't really look where I was going to. And it was interesting. I got a phone call from Dave Rocastle. We were big mates. I'm coming too. It's a disgrace. My contract's a joke. David Dean stepped in, and they managed to hang on to him, and all the guys then got a pay rise. So I kind of like, Mickey Thomas was saying, well done, fella, you got us a pay rise. But they had to pay $2 million to bring me back all those years later. And in between, I went to Villa, and the guys were winning the League Cup.
50 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, they were winning the League Cup. Then they won the league, and I'm like, I'm pleased for the guys. I'm really happy for Arsenal, and I'm thinking, but I could have played in those games. I should have been there. Will I ever make the right decision in my career? But George, in fairness, brought me back again. And at my testimonial dinner, which we had in London, there was 1,000 people at the Grosvenor House Hotel, which was a remarkable event, which I was very proud of. George Graham stood up and said, if this player would have listened to me, he could have been the most decorated player. He could have made the most games for Arsenal, and he'd be an absolute legend. And I said, well, thanks, George. I brought you to my testimonial dinner, not to slag me off, but it's what I expect from you. But George was always ever honest. And actually, in the book, and if you listen to the audio, I've tried to depict a changing room, half-time team talk from George, to give you the sort of flavor of how things were. So I've done a George Graham accent. You'll have to tell me what you think. But it's as near to I can... Hey, I'm up there, and I'm fucking embarrassed. So it went something like that, and every time it would finish with, hey, there be changes. Don't worry about that. So he was full on. He used to do the same team talk every game. So I've tried to reenact that in the book.
So when you did come back to Arsenal, I assume it was a very easy decision. But how did that come about? What sort of conversations happened at that point?
Well, I was actually at Everton, and I was very close to Howard Kendall, because Howard had a little bit of a drink problem. And as you know, there was a point when I said to him, I followed him home once after a game, and the car was all over the place. And he lived just 2 minutes from me. So I took him home after every away game. And we played at Highbury, and he said, look, George says he wants you back at Arsenal. Now, I already knew this, because Terry Murphy, if anyone knows Terry Murphy didn't ring me often, but when he did, it was always good news. And he rang me to say, look, would I come back? And I said, okay, of course I will. Can I leave now? So I was keen to come back. I knew the club wasn't paying extraordinary wages. You know, I don't know what Lauren's experience was when he came here, but the wages were always a little bit lower than everywhere else, and you had to love the club, you know, and it was you always felt a little bit like, you know, let me decide that. How about paying me a fair wage? So I thought, okay, let's put money to one side, and let's come back, and let's try and put the record straight, and let's see if we can win something. I just thought, let's give it a chance. Now, I came back, and I was cup-tied for 2 cup finals. And then I got injured. I played in 9 of the 11 games when we won the Cup Winners' Cup, and I got injured for the final, just 5 days before that. I thought it's never going to happen. And then the next season, I was stretchered off in the final, finally make it on the pitch, but didn't finish the game. But when Arsene Wenger arrives, he unravels the coil that I have of talent. He made me the player that I'm remembered for, really, because his help, his belief, and trust, and love. I'd go that far. I think he loved his players, and I'll be forever grateful for what he helped me to fulfill in my career.
Yeah, it was, yeah, I think. I haven't read every single chapter because I only got the book the other day. But no, I'm sorry. But sorry, Martin. But I did skim read what I felt.
He's honesty. Love his honesty.
I skim read what I feel might be one of the more pivotal chapters towards the end of the book, in which you go and travel to Zurich to meet Arsene Wenger, and basically it's a transcript of your conversation. I found it fascinating because one or two bits that you and I have spoken about down the years cropped up in that conversation. It was a very honest conversation. You clearly wanted to get a lot off your chest, and he was frank with you.
I didn't want to hurt Arsene Wenger.
No.
I didn't want to upset him. But I felt that, because when I see Arsene Wenger not head of FIFA, look, this guy's head of FIFA, he should be in our boardroom. He should be somewhere equally as at home as he was in the dugout. He would be in the boardroom. So I said to him that, I felt that he could have shared the club just a little bit more. I was experiencing that. I came out of the game, and Arsene wanted me around the club, asked me to coach and work. But there was something missing in terms of, like, where was my role? What was I going to do? And he actually says to me, which was quite powerful, he said to me that he made a mistake. He should have taken me as one of his assistants, which was big of him. Obviously, we both regret that. We can't put the clock back. But it was still massive to hear. And I said, well, look, if you don't mind me saying so, I think the likes of Vieira and so you got Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, they were special type individuals, people with an aura around them. I'd come in every day, I was working for many years at the club, and I saw this special group of people emerging. And I thought, okay, this doesn't happen that often. We should keep this here. And I said that if you'd have given these guys jobs, they could have supported you for longer. We could have kind of evolved who was the manager. It didn't have to be that anybody from the group, but we could have helped you to be there for longer, and you'd be still there now. And he said, you're right. So it was honest, but we were always honest in each other's company. He knows, he said to me that if you'd have been my assistant, I know you'd have told me what I needed to hear. And a lot of the time, he maybe wasn't listening to what was being said, but I think the only thing Arsene Wenger was guilty of was loving the club maybe just a bit too much and not wanting to leave when maybe the right time was there. Because otherwise, he did an incredible job at this football club. We're in this stadium because of him.
And on the subject of Arsene Wenger, I have to ask you your thoughts when he came in at first. Are you going to be very honest?
Well, I was there at the time, and the lads were taking the mickey, really, weren't they? Behind his
Well,
back
Ray
a little
Parlour
bit.
was Ray Parlour is a big fan of Inspector Clouseau movies, the Pink Panther movies, and Ray felt there was a likeness with the boss. So Ray kept affectionately playing these videos, and the boss couldn't really quite fathom it out until we went to play. Do you remember we played Wimbledon at Selhurst Park, and there was a floodlight. The floodlights suddenly went. We all rushed into the dressing room, and we went back out, and then we came in again, and the boss was like, "What is this, Ray?" And Ray said, "I think it's a bomb." Yeah. and then the boss was like, "There's a pillar, isn't there, in the dressing room?" The boss steps out, and went, "A bomb?" And then we all fell about laughing, and we never saw any of those movies ever again after that. The boss was on it.
I got a bit of a personal question, really, because in that first season with Arsene Wenger, I was here for a bit. I trained trained for the first month. He had a big group, and he trimmed it down. I didn't quite make the cut. I ended up going on loan, and then I came back later in the season, and you guys were faster. You were stronger. You were much fitter, and it was in part down to the change in diet. There was a little bit of creatine, I believe, that was...
The creatine didn't come in for about 3 years.
No, it was definitely there then.
But right, okay.
I just remember the difference was incredible in terms of the condition.
Do you know,
of the players.
it was interesting. They did a simple thing. They did a blood test, and they came back and said, you're anemic. Now, I'm playing professional footballer, and I'm anemic. I'm running on empty. And I used to keep getting cramp in games. So they gave me zinc, they gave me B12, and iron was what the guy used to say. Because he used to say as well, like, you need to chew to win. So we used to do this thing, the slogans went up, chew to win, and sip. If you'd read the book, you'd see it, Adrian. It's all in the book. I'm not going to give you the chapter number. But it was literally, I used to take the piss because I used to chew, like, he'd come past, Dr. Rougier, wasn't it? And I used to chew, really. And he said, Martin, that's fantastic. Yeah. And it was just taking a piss. But it was so, honestly, the detail was incredible because they order you ate your food. They'd say to me, right, okay, you need to eat the protein first, and then vegetables last. Then they said to me, you can't eat meat, Martin, as I got older, and then you can eat fish, but then they took the fish away. And then they said, well, hardly anything in the end. Look at the state of me. And then we had I would eat 3 carbohydrates, and the boss would say, Martin, this is disaster. What are you doing, Why you eat 3 carbohydrates? And I said, well, because I like them. You cannot eat rice, pasta, potato. You must choose one. And I said, fuck you, So, every time he sneaked out, the chef used to just load a few more carbohydrates on my plate. But that was the detail. It was the boss was really big on those things, and that attention to detail. I didn't know if it was the stretching. I didn't know if it was the tablets we were taking. I didn't know if it was the sipping, the chewing. But I felt like Superman. And honestly, we were bigger, stronger. The simplicity of our play, everything was one touch, two touch. Suddenly, we enjoyed having the ball. Although Lauren told me tonight, I used to say to him, "Don't give me the ball, for fuck's sake." I don't remember saying that, but to be honest, I remember giving the ball to Patrick Vieira and never getting it back. It was like he was incredible, wasn't he, Patrick Vieira?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to play in Patrick's first appearance for Arsenal. It was in a reserve game, and after about 15 minutes, where he just owned the match, because none of us knew him. No one had really heard of him. He was just this big, tall, lanky guy in midfield, and he absolutely owned it. For 15, 20 minutes, I thought, this guy's never he's never playing for the reserves again, this guy.
Well, no, but revelation from the boss, because the boss said he thought he'd phone Patrick. Patrick, how are you settling in? He went, how are the players? He said, I don't fucking know. He said, I've never seen any of the first team players. I'm with the reserves. Patrick Vieira. And it was like, Geordie Armstrong was quite clever, because Geordie said to Pat Rice, you know what? We better start involving one of these two. They've signed Remy Gard and they've signed Patrick Vieira. How about putting one of these in the game? Because, maybe it's indication of what the next manager wants at the club. And he came off the bench. I think Ray Parlour was injured, and Patrick come off the bench, and I think it was Sheffield Wednesday he played it. And I can still see it in my mind's eye. He receives the ball, spins, takes it on the half turn, and he hits a 30-yard pass out to the wing. And I thought, wow, that's a player. Instantly, bang, he's going to do a job for us.
No, he's fantastic. Sorry to jump in. I want to ask about the Manchester United rivalry, for obvious reasons. One of your old pals has just left Manchester United today, hasn't he?
It's funny how he keeps turning up, isn't it?
I loved it. I was disappointed not to be involved and whatnot. I was elsewhere playing, but watching from afar, those were the games that I loved. And when I think about the entire Premier League era, it's Arsenal versus Manchester United in the mid to late 90s. It was fantastic, or the early 2000s. It was awesome. What was it like to be part of? And talk us through some of the kerfuffles.
Well, do you know before we let's just to try and capture how it used to be. I remember I used to warm up at Highbury, that lovely sleepy ground, and incredible TARDIS, wasn't it? Just hidden away, doesn't it, behind the Victorian houses. And you'd look into the crowd, and in around 97, 98, for any of you that might have been there, you could see the excitement building of the fans, because they knew, we've got a bloody good team now. And we knew it as well. And it was magical. So we built this kind of aura and quality, and we would just go to work on people really quickly. It was how quickly could we win the game? And Highbury, that kind of little postage stamp pitch, it was like we'd make that pitch so tiny for the opposition, they couldn't breathe. And then when we had the ball, it was huge. And it was just an amazing, the fans played their part. You know, you could see the joy. People had waited for generations to find a team of that quality. And there it was right in front of them. And then Man United became the team, became the rivals. Who's Arsenal? Who's Arsene Wenger? And they didn't like it. And it was like, okay, let's get it on because we think we're better than you. But the rest of the Premier League were kind of like they were in the heads of all the opponents. And whenever it was time to play them, it was like, okay, forget all the bullshit. Who's best? And I don't really ever remember going on a pitch against Man United and feeling like we were second best at any real point through that period. Maybe that I wasn't playing the 6-7-1 defeat was a nightmare for us. But when you went, into battle with some of the World Cup winners, players from all over the world, ingrained in everything Arsenal, how quickly these guys picked up that from us, because we were kind of like, myself and Tony were the last two members of that youth team that we talk about, but there was lots of people coming through, and it was sort of an Arsenal way, and the boss picked that up really quickly as well. I mean, this is a mild-mannered man on the outside, but on the inside, he said to me, I'm an animal. And that's what he told me. And he said, I fight every day to control it. And he said, when you guys stop playing, he said, I become more physical than the team. You see me on the sideline. So, it became something special. And it was funny because I would watch Sir Alex Ferguson. I saw that epic semi-final when we lose. Giggs gets the goal. I tried to explain that as well. A bit of analysis about that goal, what my part in it. But I saw things that night that Sir Alex went about the referee at half-time, and I thought it was too much. So every time we played Man United, I would make sure I was in and around Sir Alex Ferguson to make sure that he wasn't going to make too much noise. We didn't go on the pitch until they went on the pitch. I tell you what, you're going to watch, you're going to go out there and you'll be thinking about us. We're not on the pitch thinking about you, because we're in charge and not you. And whenever we played United, they tried to do the same thing. So the referee would be knocking, saying, is anyone coming out? Well, no, we don't come out until they come out. So, and I set that tone with the boss. I said, we don't step out there. Graham Poll's going, well, someone's going to get fined. Well, we got bigger pockets than them. We're not going out. So it was a game within a game, but you have to look back now and say the respect for their group. Goodness me, I don't know how they did what they did in '99. We were on for a second double. In April, we're still going for a second double. We won nothing, but that team was bloody good. We only conceded 17 goals. I know you like your stats, Adrian. That season, we didn't score enough goals. But there was some intervention, something bigger at work. When I saw them win the Champions League, I laughed because what they did to us in the FA Cup semi-final. Dennis has a chance to win it, and we all go home. But, respect for them. But we eventually climbed the mountain in 2002. When we win the league in 2002, that was absolutely beautiful feeling. We were looking down on the rest of the English football, having conquered Manchester United, their own back garden. That was pretty special.
I guess it doesn't really feel like there's that intense rivalry or hatred really nowadays in football so much, at least in the Premier League, right? Because that must have been quite a special time, the emotions that it brought out of you, but you must have also kind of loved it and loved that rivalry and kind of got off on that.
Would you know that even now you hear, same old Arsenal always cheating? It's total bollocks, It really, they do it to wind us up, don't they? Do you know? And hatred is a big word. You're professionals. You can't hate people. I don't look back. Actually, I spent my career, since I've stopped playing now, 20 years, apologizing to the opponents that I've been playing against. I've had to, everywhere I go, I open a door and I see someone from a rival team, and I go, oh, look, it was nothing personal. So, when I put those red boots on, something used to happen. Something changed. So yeah, that's how I kind of played my football. I played, and I didn't hate anybody. No, it's not about hatred. You know, I want to win. I was desperate to win, and I look back and I think, well, were people quicker than me? Were they better on the ball than me? I don't know if there were many more determined than I was. You know, and you have to have some sort of a special quality. And I was hell bent on winning from a really young age. And there's some photographs in the book of me as a young kid with 6 or 7 trophies around me. I'm only 11 years of age. And so that winning culture, you know, I remember winning the league and cup double for my Sunday league team. And I thought, when I did it at professional level, I thought, well, I've already done it. I literally have already done it. And I talk a little bit about how does it change you when you win a trophy. I knew I was a winner, but it keeps everyone quiet. It keeps the noise out. You can actually point to something and say, oh, there's a trophy. But it felt hollow the first time I finally won something, because I had to wait a bloody long time to win something.
How does it feel now then, when you're not involved in matches? I suppose you might get off on winning an argument against Simon Jordan on TalkSport. Is that the new buzz?
No, I mean, I'll defend the club. I don't want to sound like a broken record. And we're getting to the stage now. We need to start winning some games. We need to win 7 or 8 matches now to take us on a nice run. But I will always feel in my heart that I want to help Arsenal Football Club. If Arsenal Football Club said, Edu's gone, we need somebody to fill in for 6 months to the end of summer, then I'll come over and I'll do it. No problem. What do you need me to do? For some reason, I always feel and always will to the day I die that I would like to help in some way Arsenal Football Club. And it's a bit... I was saying, we're in a conversation with Arsene Wenger, I was saying, really, what's a shame is our club, our beautiful club, is so big, so enormous, so public. If it was just the village team, it was my local village team, I'd be there every week. I'd walk in, I'd have a seat, pride of place. I played almost in a record number of games, and I could sit there. But because it's such a public affair, it's very difficult to kind of feel still connected. But do you know, in my heart, that it will always be my club. No one will tell me just because I'm not invited. I'm not saying I'm not invited, but it is difficult. It's difficult to get to all the games, to be here. You know, there are very few players that get a chance to come back. Adrian knows that. But you can't take the club away from me. It'll always be my club.
Go on.
So, if you just put it out there that you're up for the direction of football role?
I mean,
we're live
Lauren,
streaming, Martin.
No, I'm too old now for all that stuff. But you know, Lauren's over. Maybe he's in talks. Lauren's in talks.
Maybe that's the real reason he's over.
Yeah. Do you know what? Any one of that group, there were so many good people among it. I think they could do that. There's no doubt. Edu did that job with a great deal of distinction for a long time. Has the love and adulation of the fans. I'm disappointed that he's gone. You know, if it was the pressure, I can understand that, because there's a weight on your shoulders, because if you truly love the club, then that pressure can build. So you know, we wish him well for the next job, but we look anxiously to make sure. But we want the manager to be supported and have the kind of network around him, and we hope that he's getting that.
I'm conscious of time. I mean, we could sit here chatting to you all night, Martin. I do want to quickly ask you about the Invincibles era, and we'll chat more to Lauren about that later on. But did you know at the time that something that special was happening? Was there a feeling? Was it something that you guys talked about as the season was going on? I want to know. I want to feel what it was like to be one of you in the dressing room.
I knew for many years that it was a special group. I used to look around the dressing room and tell everybody how good they were. It was nothing, you know, and I was a bit older than everybody else. I was just saying to Lauren, it seemed you guys had gone on for years and years. I was 37, 38 then, and I'd seen pretty well everything. And I'd seen Patrick Vieira come through, and Lauren came through the door. At the beginning, everybody, you could see, are they winners, aren't they? And then they get in the team and they find a position. And then you know you've got the right type of person when they come into the team. So I knew there were special people. I just knew it. I smelt it. And we went a whole season in 2002. We went away from home. We didn't lose a game. And then the boss announces in the team meeting 203, I think we can go. I think we can do it. We go unbeaten a whole season. And it was like, that's fine. Keep that in-house. Don't go and tell the world that we're trying to fucking, break this record. Because we have that discussion as well. When I meet him, he says, oh, you weren't happy when I said, oh, no, I was very happy. I just didn't want you to go and tell the rest of the world. Because they just tried a little bit harder, and it sounded arrogant that we could go unbeaten for a whole season. Everyone was trying double hard. So when we did it in 2004, it built a momentum. No, it went under the radar, really. People weren't really talking about it. We'd said it before, and then slowly we were coming towards it, and it was getting bigger. And then we won the league at White Hart Lane. And then another makes for a great picture, that, by the way, doesn't it? White Hart Lane winning there. I was about to come on in that game, and Jens Lehmann lost the plot, didn't he? Do you remember? And then they started to celebrate as if they'd won the league themselves, Spurs, and it was an equaliser. And they were going around telling us, no, you're not allowed to celebrate. No, you can't. And then that's why we celebrate so much, because we obviously didn't want to listen to them. But that was another great occasion. But I can't say, Adrian, that I was surprised, because I could see the quality in the group, and it was almost like it was amazing. I could just tell. I mean, it started with Overmars, that group, 97, 98. They were pioneers, really, because at the beginning we had to earn the reputation, and by 99, people would look at you in the tunnel and they go, Patrick Vieira's massive. He's bigger in real life. I can't kick him. I can't outplay him. So this reputation started to build, and then the changes were being made. Sol came in. The back four players were sort of served their purpose and were finishing. David Seaman went, Jens Lehmann came, and then this group. It should have won far more, by the way. It should have. We kind of grab onto the Invincibles bit, but we were in the running for the FA Cup. We were in the running for the Champions League, and it all blew up in a week. And I remember being in the dressing room. And I do lay claim to it a little bit, although it's because of the environment that Arsene Wenger created. I felt, was a bit down when we were losing at halftime against Liverpool, and I asked the boss, could I speak? And I only did it because he allowed me to do it, and I just felt the boys were a little feeling sorry for themselves. And I was like, come on, for fuck's sake. This is the best group of players I've ever worked with. We're just feeling sorry for ourselves. And it's understandable, but we need to fucking start to play. If we don't start to play, it's over. Come on. And I remember looking on Ree's eyes, and he's like, he sees everything as a criticism, like, you fucking what? And he scores. When he scores, he's running back to the bench and going, fuck off. He's going, and I'm waving at him. But, and then, it's true. But the gaffer then, I think we score another goal when we're comfortable, and the boss said, Martin, you're going on. Well done, half-time. You must go on. So I went on, just as Freddie had lost his sting out on the wing. As my son said, out comes Daddy on the wing. That was a poem he wrote for me. So I came on for Freddie. But there's great team spirit, great bond, great players, great people. The basis for success is good people in any workplace. And Wenger did a really good job there.
He did, yeah. Look, we've got to wrap things up very shortly. But for me, You've lived it, you've been involved in the team. You used the phrase that you smelt that they were winners. What do you smell with the current group of players? What Mikel Arteta's building? We talked about the intimidation in the tunnel. That's certainly something that we're getting to. Do you see something brewing? I know it's difficult after win, but
yeah, but I think now's the time. It's when you have to believe, you have to hang in there, and it feels a bit of a grind. It feels like suspensions. It seems like, injuries, everything going against us. But this is when you dig in, and I think it's there because I think we're in the fight. I watch our team, and we've got bloody good fighters in there again. There's a determination, and I know that we have a chance with that. For many years, I watched it, and I thought, they're not putting their foot in. What's going on? I don't want to name names, but now that I believe everybody is really pulling in the right direction. We have occasional blips, and we're not winning games, tight games this season that we were winning last year, and we have to be more ruthless, and we have to be sort of more aware. Midfield dropped into the back line yesterday, and we concede. So there's stuff we can do, but with Ødegaard back, you know, a little statistic for you, because I know you like your stats. 102 chances, 102 Ødegaard makes last year, and 41 times he wins the ball back for us high up in the pitch. No other player gets anywhere near his stats. We shouldn't be just about one player, but, you know, if Rodri is a big player for Man City, if you took Cole Palmer out of the Chelsea team, then, look, we miss him, and he's back. So maybe now we go on an amazing run again. We need to. There's only way we can win anything is if we win 7 or 8 games on the bounce.
Okay, we are going to let you go in a second. But of course, you are here and you're promoting your book, On the Edge. It is great. I'm sure most people here have bought a
Thank
copy
you,
already.
by the way, everybody that was queuing. It's very humbling to actually see people who want me to sign the book for them. And, you know, I came to London 15 years of age, starry-eyed, and then I come back now and people know who I am, and I'm bumping into people in the street who say, look, thank you for what you did for our football club, but I want you to know, and I've written in the book, that it was all my pleasure, and it always will be. So thank you for your support.
Amazing. What a lovely note to end this on. So, Martin, thank you so much. Please give it up one more time for the incredible
Thanks,
Martin
guys.
Keown. What a guy. Adrian, oh, I love the hug going on there. I love that he came up here and straight away just took you out.
It came for me, didn't it? It's the Keown way. It's known as a reducer, isn't it, in the game?
Oh, I love that. Okay, we're going to have a short break now, so get some food, grab a drink, mingle, get a raffle ticket, because there are some brilliant prizes up for grabs. Martin's still going to be about signing books, and we'll see you back here very soon. See you in a bit.
Arsenal fans together to try and make the club a better institution. We led the
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to start part 2. If you are in the queue, don't worry, you can stay there. We just asked that we just reduce the noise so we can get Lauren on, but totally understand you want to get your book signed, so stay in the queue if you're in the queue. If everyone else wants to start to get back to their seats, we have another Invincible to talk to.
Hello. Oh, it's working. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you were all well fed. You've had a drink. Were the pies good? We didn't get one. We're fuming, but that's fine. We don't care. I think people are still going to stay in the queue to get Martin to sign their book. God, he's popular, isn't he, Clarky?
Yeah, it's still happening.
You wouldn't know how that feels.
No, I don't know how that feels. Stop it. Don't you start as well. Yeah, we got the last couple, and then, and then everyone could just sit down in a nice, timely order. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Should we get things going?
Let's crack on with the second half.
Okay, so joining us next is another Arsenal legend, an Invincible. It is the one and only Lauren! Firstly, how are you? I mean, you've been sitting there, chilling, just observing, having a lovely time, taking a lot of photos with people in the room. What is it like coming back to Arsenal and seeing all the love that you're getting?
It's amazing. It's like a get back to home, you know. First of all, I have to say thank you to everyone that's come up today and enjoy this night. And I'm really pleased to be again next to you because you are part of my family. And I really mean it.
What is it then about Arsenal that made you feel part of the family, probably from the get-go and still today?
Yeah. First of all, I have to say because David and Wenger. When you, because I always negotiate my own contracts, and always with the sport director of Mallorca, Levante, I always sit in the table and negotiate my own contract. And always is, you go to the office with a tie, very serious, and you come to London, and David says, come to my house. So this is something unique. And then when you have a sport director and the manager says to you, come to my house, come to my people, that's tell you all. So this is one of the things that I feel like I have to do everything to those two people, David, Mr. Wenger, and of course Arsenal.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant to hear. It really is. Obviously, Edu has just vacated his position as sporting director, a very charismatic guy.
Yeah.
You had that experience working with David Dean. How brilliant was he in that role? Because I think he is a true Arsenal legend, the way that he worked with Arsene Wenger to turn us really from a big club, but into a global giant. I think he did an amazing job. What was the secret to David Dean's success? And what was your experience?
Because it's always try to find a solution. I remember that day we went to, it was my agent, David Dean Wenger, and David's daughter, because she was a Spanish speaker. So my agent, in some point of the negotiation, he used to stand up, and he means to, I'm going to leave this table. I'm going to go out to the house. And David Dean just called my agent. He said, calm down, come in, stay quiet. Let's find a solution. So it's a kind of man that is always looking to the best agreement. It's a win and win. So it's a special man. Love him, David Dean.
Let's go back in time a bit. What's your earliest memories of playing football? When did you start loving the game?
Always. Always. I love football since I was a kid. And, well, I come from a wealthy family. And they're from Equatorial Guinea. My father was a politician. And my mom family was the owners of cacao and coffee plantation. They were selling those products to Spain back on time. And I remember that I wanted to be a footballer, first of all, because I love the game. I love to play in the street in Spain, in the south, always sunny, so we always in the street. And the second factor was that I want my mom and my dad getting to the position where they were when they were living in Equatorial Guinea. So I did everything in order to, especially my mom, because my mom was suffering. She was a daddy's girl always. She grew up with everything. And he arrived to a new country with 15 people in the same house, 2 flats. So I said, oof. She was crying and suffering. I said, I have to do something to this woman. So my intention was, first of all, because I love the game, and secondly, in order to help my family.
That's brilliant, and yeah, absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we're lucky enough here at Arsenal to have the Hale End Academy and the young players growing up here today get the best of everything. Wonderful coaching, beautiful pitches.
Yeah.
How was it for you, with your footballing education?
Yeah, it was, Arsenal, you mean?
No, but prior to Arsenal, as a kid.
Arsenal. Sevilla, there is 2 teams in the south. In Sevilla is Sevilla and Real Betis, both academy. And it's a place where you have to know how to play football. In the south, you have to put the ball in the ground and play. It's not like in the north. They've been changed a bit, but in north, they don't mind to play long balls. They're strong. In the south, you have to put the football in the ground and play. And the fact that Sevilla and Betis that have that kind of people from the street that like to play football, take 1 against 1, and it was lovely. I have a lovely memory because the same group that we started with 11, we still remain friends now. We used to meet every 2-3 months. We meet together with the wives. Well, I'm divorced. Yeah, but we used to meet from time to time because we have that kind of bond since we were 11.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
When did you first realise then? Because it's one thing that, you said you loved the game and that you were so motivated to become a professional footballer to help your family, to help your mum, which is wonderful. But you've also got to have the talent, I suppose, to be able to actually do it and make it. When did you first realise that you were pretty talented, Lauren?
I always know because my father was the kind of man, old-fashioned people, politician. He doesn't like his kid to play football. He wants all my brothers and sisters to study, to go to the university. I did that when I was retiring my career. So he didn't like me to be in the street and play football. So I always have a naughty boy because I didn't respect the rules. I always was in the street. My father was always 10 o'clock at home. All my brothers and sisters, they were all at 10 o'clock. I didn't care. So I know that I would stay in the streets until I was going to get punished anyway, so I stay until whatever. So my father said, you don't go out. So all my friends come, please, Valentin, let's allow to get to the street because without him, we cannot win the game. So, so all my friends come, I go down. So then I knew that I was very good because on the street I was one of the best. I used to play in the academy as a striker. So I was one of the best in the academy. So I knew since, when playing on the street, I always knew that I had that kind of talent different than anybody else.
Yeah, and you earned your moves to the Arsenal, and that must have been incredibly exciting when you heard that the Gunners were in for you, the opportunity to work with Arsene Wenger.
Yeah.
I've asked you about David Dean and your experiences with him. Arsene, we've heard from Martin, some funny stories earlier. How did you find working with Arsene, particularly in the early stages? He's a very unique personality.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I understood now, because now I'm working with the media, and many things that the training session that we were setting up, I understood it more now because I have to explain it to people. So the fact that it was try to play that kind of possession with quick transition, we used to do 10 passes. If you want to score the goal, you have to switch sides. So one goal, if you switch sides, that's tell you that attracting people, players, the opponent in one side, and liberate Freddie Ljungberg or Robert Pires on the other side in order to get 1 against 1. So it was unbelievable. Now we see all the teams that play with the back line high up on the pitch, pressing high up. We used to do that. We used to play 4-4-2, but the system used to change the 4-3-3 because Patrick Vieira or Gilberto Silva used to go up and join this. So all the things that we see now, the fullbacks overlapping all the time, Wenger did it 20 years ago. I mean, it was unbelievable in terms of tactical point of view, and in terms to teach the youngsters and give the confidence that be free, express yourself in the last third. So it was unbelievable, coach.
I would love to have played first team football for Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. I absolutely would. What fullbacks didn't do back then that they do now is they play central midfield.
Central midfield.
We see it, don't we, with Zinchenko, with Ben White. Various Calafiori will come in field.
Yeah.
Would you have fancied yourself as a central midfielder?
Yeah.
For that?
I have no problem on that because, first of all, I was a striker since until 18, 19, that I was in Levante also playing behind the striker. And when I went to the national team with Cameroon, I used to play in the middle. I used to play 3-5-2 in the middle. I'm very successful. We went to African Cup of Nations. I scored 4 goals in the Olympic, playing in that position. So if Wenger nowadays asked me to play in the middle, I wouldn't have any problem. I would have performed the same way. And even though we used to play 4-4-2, but if you have a look, we used to be 3. When we get out from the ball, in order to have an extra man in the middle of the park, one Ashley Cole go and stay. So we are 3, just in case we lose the ball. So, I mean, if you understand, as Wenger used to say, if you understand the sense of the game, you can play in any position.
I want to ask you more about Arsene Wenger, but just to go back a bit to when you got that call, you were at Mallorca, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the call saying, or your agent did, saying, Arsenal were interested.
Yeah.
Can he come to David Dean's house? What goes through your head at that point? What is that like? How did you feel?
I said, how come? I couldn't believe it. To David's house? How come? We used to go to the office. So, I mean, first stage, I was very happy for the fact that Real Madrid, in the meantime, he wanted to sign me. And we were closing that gap to close to sign or Real Madrid or Arsenal. So, by the time we make the decision, that for one day and to another, because next day, take the flight, go to London, go to David's house, meet Wenger, and from then on, I believe that I made the right decision in order because for the youngsters, because Wenger trusts the youngster, and he says to me, he gives me the right confidence, and he trusts. So I have the trust from the manager. So
it's not every day a player turns down Real Madrid to join the Arsenal. Yeah. I think that deserves a round of applause.
Yeah.
And it worked out very well. So how old were you when you came over?
23.
Yeah. Okay. And instantly, did you sort of feel that you belonged?
Yeah. Instantly. The way that the approach, Wenger approach, because Wenger was the kind of guy that you sat down with him, he's listening. You talking. You think at the moment that he's not paying attention, but he's listening, and you keep talking maybe for 10 minutes, and he got back to you for the first thing that you were talking. So, and you think that he's not listening. So he's listening everything. He's analyzed you. And it's an unbelievable coach. I mean, we were all privileged to be with such a great man, great coach.
For sure. I also want to know, what were his talks like in the dressing room at halftime? What sort of approach did he go for?
Well, I have to say we were a tough dressing room. So a lot of discussion. Martin was talking. So when we finished the first half, it's over, and then he says 5 minutes, nobody talks. So everybody quiet because we were arguing. I said nobody talks, and then he made his speech, and everything that he does and he says, it happened during the game. So he had you see the gaps, you see the weaknesses of the opponent, and from then on, he makes some changes, and it happened. Sometimes we play with 3-5-2. When we play against a team that plays 3-5-2, they always have an extra man in the middle of the park. So in defense, one of the strikers drop his position, we level in the middle of the park. But in attack, they always have gaps behind the fullback. So one goal, and then the other striker attack that space. If not the striker, is one of the midfield players, or Freddy Lumber or Pires. And it happened during the game. So, I mean, it was just fantastic.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time, wasn't he,
yeah.
really?
Yeah. He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, you talked about the characters in the dressing room. There's a lot of older players, like Martin at the time. Did they manage themselves on the pitch? Because Arsene wasn't really a screamer or a shouter. I sometimes think players, they shouldn't be looking to the manager all the time for instruction.
No,
you've got to sort it out on the pitch.
Sort it out on the pitch.
I mean, who were the big sort of leaders in that regard? Who were the guys that were saying, "Come on, we've got to do this, we've got to do that"? Who were the big characters on the pitch for you?
In the pitch, Martin Keown was one of the characters. I used to say, "Is here, still there?" Yeah. So we used to pass the ball, as I said before, and then he passed the ball to me, and then we. Instead of giving back to him, he says, "Don't give the ball back to me. Just play on the side, play to the striker." But he was one of the men that have that kind of character. Patrick Vieira as well, Thierry Henry, your people with your big personalities. And but I was in the side, and Wenger always tried to tell me things, but in some point you don't listen to the manager. You pretend that, but you give me a break, man. So you go to your way.
I know the feeling. I couldn't wait to
never
go on the
listen.
opposite side.
I say, but I didn't,
One player we forgot.
Most of the time, we find the solution by ourselves.
Yeah, okay. You play with Tony Adams?
Tony Adams.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, one guy I wish we'd have asked Martin
Tony
about
as well. Yeah, Tony as well.
For anyone that hasn't got a copy of the book yet, or hasn't read the book, there's a whole chapter on Tony Adams. It's absolutely brilliant. Let's talk about Tony Adams, Mr. Arsenal. There he is. He's over there. What did he offer in the dressing room that you can tell everybody here today? What sort of person? What kind of man?
He was a leader as well at the back. He was a leader. He was a kind of guy. His presence. He knows everything. He wasn't the quickest. But he was the one that he understand how to position in the back line. He didn't have that kind of pace, but you don't need that kind of pace if you are intelligent. And he was intelligent in the way that how to defend the striker, how to coordinate the back line, how to talk to people. So he was a natural inner self leader. Yeah.
Changed.
Yeah.
He did change. I think you got to see the new Tony Adams. There was an old Tony Adams. I got to see. And the old Tony Adams was
But I have to say, for the youngsters, the one that talked more with the youngsters is Martin Keown.
Yeah.
Martin Keown with me, with Colo, Fabregas, all the youngsters, is the one that, you have to do this, that. It's always, give you the best advice.
Yeah. While we're talking about Martin, very quickly then, we know that he was a hatchet man. He used to go through people for fun. Who else? Who else was like the dirty, nasty? Who sort of who kicked everyone in training apart from Martin?
I was hard on training as well because I understood that, like you training, you play later on in the game. So you have to be strong, and I have to kick because all the time I had Thierry on training ground on my side, so I have to be on my toes.
Martin used to get in a few scraps. We've covered this ground.
But there was many people. Parlo as well was very strong. I mean,
but did you get in any tear-ups?
Sol Campbell as well. I mean, there were.
But did you have punches?
Freddie Lumbe.
This is what I'm getting at.
Freddie,
did you have a
Freddie was very on the training ground, very strong and making the tackles. Yeah.
Well, like Clarkie's saying, and like you've said, Lauren, obviously, it was a group of players with big personalities, a lot of characters.
Yeah.
So surely sometimes you would clash, or in the dressing room,
sometimes
the frustration.
Many times. What do you mean sometimes? I remember the boss, when we played a little 5 second aside, he just put the whistle there. Nobody wants to take the whistle. No, the only one was Pat Rice. Paul Johnson just turned away. Who's the other guy? Boro turned away. Nobody wants because we were very demanding ourselves. We want to be the best in your position. He wants to be the best. So in those games, there was a lot of clashes. We were all good friends, meet up, but on the training, we don't play games.
It's a miracle, really.
And Pat Rice, he was the one that had the guts.
Pat was very hard.
Yeah, he was tough.
Pat was my youth team manager. He loved that secretly.
He loved that.
He wouldn't have told you it, but he would have loved it.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. Do you think that's a special ingredient then for winning teams?
Absolutely. There was a time, I have to say now, I was last year in pre-season with the lads. They were fantastic. Arteta is, a guy that you've got talent. He understands the game. He convinced the player. There is in Spain, there is 4 things to transmit or convince a group of people. I will say in Spanish, which is fear, miedo, reciprocity. No? Reciprocidad? Yeah. You don't know? You understand?
GCSE Spanish over here.
Yeah, reciprocidad, knowledge, and Arteta used the knowledge, same as Wenger, in order to convince the players, in order to lead them to do what he wants. So, yeah.
Just following up on what you just said there, obviously you kick lumps out of each other. We've heard that. We got through it. It was fine. We were successful. No one got too badly hurt. These days, footballers seem wrapped in sort of cotton wool. I don't know if you understand that phrase, but it's a bit softer. And footballers across the world, really, at the moment, are saying it's too much football.
Yeah.
There's talk of maybe players going on strike. Everybody's saying player welfare is that there's going to be big injuries. Players are going to be finished before they're 30. There's too much football. What's your take on that, having sort of played in a different era?
What I found out now that we're playing too many games. Far too many games, international, Champions League, FA Cup. So players, sometimes what you do with your brain, you cannot. So you cannot spread the football. What you do with your brain, you extrapolate into your feet during games. So the coaches can train shot it on target, whatever, but you don't train success on the shot. That's based on the brain. That's based of the decision maker for the player during the games. If you are tired, your brain cannot, you cannot deliver. So therefore, I believe that we play so many games and we play so many, and the players cannot maintain this type of a top player.
Mental as well as
Mentally,
physical.
and then, and then you struggle in some points.
And Clarkey asked Martin about it earlier, but let's just have a little chat about that Ruud van Nistelrooy incident, shall we? Reminisce. Talk to us about it from your perspective, Lauren.
Well, I believe that situation, I think if I have to do it, I will do it again. In order to protect the people I care for. I mean, I know it's not nice for youngsters type of things. It's okay, but I will always protect the people I care for, and I will do it. I don't care about the fine. I just care about my team. And that game showed the spirit amongst the dressing room. If you touch my mate, you have to pass on top of me. So therefore, we came across the way that we did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's how football should be. Yeah, it's fantastic. Martin said he loved that rivalry. He loved the
and also
physicality.
Van Nistelrooy, he was always in every game he come. He looks like a pretend like a nice boy, but he come, he push you, he tackle you from behind, and the field level, the brothers as well. They was tackling everywhere, and they pretend to be a nice boy. So that time I said, so, I say, you don't play games with me.
Yeah, don't mess with Lauren. No, we don't mess with you.
Yeah.
That long unbeaten run at Old Trafford as well with the penalty decision. I mean, the anger must have been. You guys must have been fuming.
Yeah.
Take us back to that.
It was terrible because I remember that game that we lost. Yeah, Reyes was kicked all over the places. I mean, it was. Gary Neville, it was, against him all the time. The referee didn't book him, so it was unbelievable. We should have won that game, and then the penalty wasn't a penalty, but this is football. Sorry? To who? Who? Van Nistelrooy. They won, yeah? 2-0, I think. Yeah?
Let's chat a bit about the current Arsenal squad then. You've spoken about Mikel Arteta and the brilliant job that he's been doing. And we've spoken a bit about the season so far. And look, it's still early on, right? I'm sure we're all still feeling fairly hopeful. Hopefully, yeah, okay, great. Thank you. I was a bit nervous there, but
this isn't
I'm
Twitter
feeling hopeful.
Arsenal. This is real Arsenal.
It's called X now, Adrian. What are your thoughts on the current crop of Arsenal players? I mean, a team full of talent, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe that this generation, and I said it before, they are capable to win anyone. They're capable to beat any team. You can challenge anyone in the Premier League. You can challenge anyone in the Champions League. So therefore, I believe that this generation make us all believe that we can do something bigger. And the connection between the fans, the institution, and the manager has been unbelievable because now we see years before we didn't qualify for the Champions League. The team is qualifying every single year for the Champions League. We were close to beat Man City last year. And the individuals have been absolutely getting better and better. Gabriel, Saliba, Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli on the left-hand side, Trossard. Declan Rice has been brilliant, but Declan Rice just signed it last year. But I believe that we've got a strong squad, and therefore I think this current team can do something.
Definitely.
Can fight to win things.
And this team loves defending, which I think is a quality that maybe we lost sight of a little bit down the years. Yeah. And I think modern football
because
in a way...
we have to fix some things that I believe that we do the same mistakes as previous years. It's conceding late goals. I mean, we concede late goals against City, we concede late goals against Liverpool, we concede goals late against Leicester. So therefore, we have to fix that because last year we lost, or 2 years ago, we lost the game against Liverpool. I mean, come on. Or against West Ham, we should have won it. I mean, we still,
Yeah.
close, kill the game when you need to kill the game.
We'll get there. We will get there. You talked about connections. You've got Saliba and Gabriel. I love that. I love that connection. I love that. Love that partnership.
Yeah.
And at right back, we're kind of spoilt for choice now. Obviously, the position that you play.
Yeah.
We have so many. We've got Tommy Asu that can play there.
Yeah.
You've got Ben White.
Ben White, been brilliant.
You've got Urian Timber as well, who's kind of probably happier on the right than he is on the left.
Yeah.
Hate to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna do it. If you were to pick a first choice back four of Arsenal for a game, if everybody was fit for a match against City or Liverpool tomorrow, what's your back four?
The invincible one. No, honestly, I will pull Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Calafiori. I like Calafiori on the left back. Honestly, I believe that it gives you a lot. Timber is a fantastic player. He can play also in the middle. Extra man there in order to dominate the middle of the park. But I believe that the father, Calafiori, is a natural left back. He can provide crosses, can get inside, can shoot on targets. He's a very good player. I will put him there. Yeah. And also, he kind of do the work as a central back. If we have, nowadays, when we get isolated because everybody pressing high up, so one of the central back can go out, he can get inside as well. So, I mean, he can give you that kind of, he can give you a lot of things during the game.
Mikel Arteta, in a way, he's not killing the old-fashioned fullback, but he loves four centre-backs, doesn't he? Ben White was a centre-back, Calafiori is a centre-back. So these days, the central defenders are as good technically as fullbacks were.
Yeah, absolutely.
I suppose that is a development progress for football.
Absolutely. And players got more tools and players got more options to understand better the game, to understand. So the manager with the offensive mentality, then you can see that during the games.
Lauren, this is great, but we are going to have to wrap up fairly soon. But we've got to ask you, of course, you won a few trophies during your time at Arsenal. What was your highlight, if you could pick one? We can take a couple. But memories, the best moments that you had during your Arsenal career?
Oh, there is many. There are many. I'll put you like that. As a defender, as a proper defender, the best game I played, it was against Man United when we did the double, when we beat them there, against Ryan Giggs. I think I got it in my pocket. This is one of them. And offensively, I love that game that we played against Tottenham, when we beat them 4-5, because that was pure English Premier League. Quick transition, up and down, goals. I mean, for the Weavers, it was fantastic, that game. Against Tottenham, where we beat them 5-4 or 4-5.
And is there a trophy success that stands out as the top?
Well, there is many I had. I'm privileged to have many trophies with the national team, African Cup of Nations, Olympics. Yeah, I'd love to have the Champions League. I mean, the Champions League, the one that they have. Yeah, but I mean, I believe the first double as well was great because it was the first one major trophy that I won. Premier League, the FA Cup. I mean, it was superb. Invincible as well. So
that old thing.
You cannot choose one. You can't choose one.
Okay, you've got a few. And quickly as well, you've been working with FIFA. You have been for the past couple of years. What was it like then seeing Arsene Wenger?
It was fantastic because the top manager is a top person because his idea is always, if God on his brain, development. So what he's trying to do, if he's delivered, it will be fantastic for football. I mean, meeting him was special. He's a special person. Love him.
Yeah, tell us very quickly about the work, because you told us backstage. I'd love you to share it with everybody else, really, the kind of work that you're doing with sort of, you know, countries that are struggling. They don't have the infrastructure to build around football.
That's talent development scheme. The project is talent development scheme. In order to, there is a leading countries, England, Spain, Germany, the MAs, top MAs, that is developed, they wants to be the top, in the top, which is Cameroon, Nigeria, all those countries that they have the aspiration to be one day on top, and there is lower MAs like Burkina Faso, Togo, all those MAs, in order to develop and get one day to challenge and be more equal in the way that when it's a competition like the World Cup.
So you were involved in setting up?
Yeah,
sort of
we were all involved according to what they demand. Some want to improve the academy, some wants to improve the local league, some wants to improve the structure. So yeah, things like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's really cool. What was it like for you? Did you feel like you were, I suppose, helping others, the younger generation coming through? Yeah.
Absolutely. I always help in every single sense. I never say this because I keep it quiet. I always helping with UNICEF. I've been helping with the cancer. I've been helping with now this thing that happened sadly in Valencia. So I always collaborating in order to help others. So by the time my dream was to be in FIFA, it's because I had the opportunity to help other MAs in order to reach to the top. I help the youngster because the youngster have the opportunity in order to be a footballer, in order to achieve their dream. So it was a fantastic job.
Yeah. I know that you're not doing that role anymore. You just left that role.
Yeah.
What next? What do you fancy?
Well, at the moment I'm working with the TV, with La Liga. Analyze La Liga. I was analyzing this Saturday, Real Madrid, comment Real Madrid against Osasuna. So yeah, now I'm focusing on the media.
Do you enjoy it?
I enjoy it, yeah. Because you're talking something that you have the knowledge in order to explain to people what's going on during the games, which is fantastic.
And finally, just before we wrap up, I know, obviously, supporters are a huge part, of course, of football, of Arsenal.
Without you, we are nothing. So.
Well, I was going to say, how important over the years
of course, I mean,
were Arsenal supporters for you?
I'll tell you something. When you play in football, you always it's not like a bubble, but everything goes too quick. You're professional. I used to go 1 hour before training as James Lehmann. James Lehmann, it was unbelievable. 1 hour, I set up the training, it was there. So you play Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, you don't pay attention. But when I retire, I've been also with Arsenal as an Arsenal ambassador, traveling around Africa, Asia, Singapore, traveling around the world. Then you realize how big Arsenal fans are. Because you're getting close to people, you're getting close to the fan around the world, and then you say, fucking hell, this is unbelievable. Excuse me. So
I love that.
You really realize, you get touched to people, how big fans we are, and you're lovely people. I really mean it.
Amazing. Right, on that note, Lauren, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Please give up one more time.
Thank you.
For Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I believe it is now time for the raffle. Oh, Akhil's coming up to the stage. It's raffle time. Right, Lauren, are you going to do the honours? Are you going to be picking out names, numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sure. Let's just say yes. Okay, we've got a minute. The prizes, the raffle, I don't know what's happening. It's all coming up onto the stage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Very exciting. Lots of good prizes.
Yeah, right.
We've got an ice bucket as the raffle ticket. Vessel. Here we are.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, we've got jerseys, signed shirts, signed books. Ooh, Zinchenko's book. Have you read that, Clarky?
Of course I haven't. Okay, so we're going to go in that order. Over you come, Lauren. You can do the main. It's like the FA Cup draw, isn't it? Here we go. So, right, this is to win the Paul Davis autobiography. Here we go.
Hot, cold.
Okay, we have got pink 794. Pink 794.
Are you in the room? Oh, we've got a
We
winner!
got a winner. Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, it's happening quickly. Right, let's go. Next one. The Rise of Arteta's Arsenal by Charles Watts. Do the honours, please, Lauren.
Right, we've got a blue. Here we go. This is
921.
921.
921. Oh, that's nice and
Here we
easy.
are.
Brilliant.
Nice and convenient.
Well done,
Right.
sir.
Mr. Keown, Martin, come on, Rash, up you come. Your work's not done yet.
The
Right,
geese.
right. We'll share the load. Right, we've got the David Dean signed copy of the David Dean book. Martin can draw this one out for us. What we got? Here we go. Blue, 800.
800. Anyone? Congratulations, sir.
Exactly the same number of games that Martin Keown played in his career, I'm told. 800. There you go.
Okay, now we've got a signed Zinchenko book. It is signed, I'll show you. Ooh, that wasn't me, I promise. Ooh. Who have we got?
Oh, it was a blue. It was a blue 800.
Oh, I'm
So harsh. It's brutal, that is. It was a long walk as well. Look how far he's walked.
You're a winner in spirit. Right, next one.
621.
621 pink. We should say.
Hooray.
Yay, oh, there you go.
Right, let's go deeper,
I should
Martin.
probably check. I'm not
Right.
asking for proof.
Martin, dig a bit deeper this time. Let's get to the bottom.
Another signed Zinny book. Oh,
Here we
come on,
go,
Martin.
Here we go. It's another bluey. Oh, which way up is it, though?
What?
It's that way? Yeah, I can't see without my glasses. 990.
990. Anyone in the room? 990. Enthusiastic hand up there. Which colour is it before we make someone do blue? Blue?
Blue 990, yeah.
Okay.
Is that the Zinni book? Brilliant,
Ooh.
fantastic.
Yeah, another book. Things are hotting up because now there's a book and a signed Zinchenko shirt. Ooh. That's the correct reaction. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, okay. Who's winning that? Oh.
Martin's fuming at all this publicity for the Zinchenko book.
I should have bought some shirts for me.
Right, we got
898.
red 898,
Red,
or pink.
pink.
Yeah, pink 898.
Red. 898.
Here we go, hooray! We've got a winner.
Yes. Congratulations. Here you are. Right, what's next? A signed shirt. Do you know who signed it? All the squad.
Okay, fully signed squad shirt.
Damn, I don't have a raffle ticket. That's upsetting. Okay. Not
Right,
jealous
Lauren,
at
you
all.
have, dig
Wow.
deep, Lauren. Get your hand in there. Here we go, drum roll. It's blue.
938.
938. Wow, congratulations. You have a signed Arsenal shirt. Not jealous at all.
Right, Martin's go. What are you drawing, Martin?
Signed women's shirt now from the Arsenal squad.
Excellent.
Oh,
Signed
yeah,
women's
that's very
one.
cool.
Here we go. We've got a pink. 629. 629 pink.
Pinks. I love the sound of everyone being devastated when it's not them. It's quite nice, isn't it?
629. Yay, we've got a
Come on up.
We've got a winner. Here we go.
Congratulations.
Okay, another men's shirt. So we've got the men's shirt signed by the whole squad. Do the honours for us, Lauren. Here we go. We've got a pink. Oh, it's a lot of high numbers.
994.
994. Nice one. Congratulations.
Hang on, it's pink 994.
Oh no, it's
Oh,
pink.
we got a double. We got
It's
two on
pink.
the move. Got two on the move. It's a pink, I'm afraid.
It's the pink ticket, not the blue one.
It's getting like VAR, isn't it? Hey. We're celebrating before it's a goal.
The stress.
Is this
this
the last
the last,
one?
the last
Is this the last
one?
one?
Shirt, they've got a few tickets.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
they've got tickets.
Okay, last shirt on offer. Is this signed by the men? Okay, here we go. 556, pink.
Pink.
556. Hey. Congratulations. Well done.
Okay. Next up, VIP tickets for Arsenal women versus Man United women. How many? Two tickets?
I think it might be 4, actually.
Oh.
I mean, it might be 2, but we'll make it 4.
Let's go with 4.
Let's go 4.
It won't come back on me, so let's say 4. Who is the lucky winner of those tickets, Lauren? Oh, it's picked
985 blue.
Ah, hey.
Yeah, it's not many little ones. But no, I don't think we've had any repeat.
Okay, now 2 club level tickets for Arsenal Man United men's game.
Ooh, decent.
That will be a decent game, hey? Not stressed
Midweeker,
about it.
8:50 kick-off. Yeah.
It changed, didn't it? It moved to the...
Oh, it's going to be tasty, that one.
838 pink.
838 pink. Who is the lucky winner? Oh, I know the suspense. I love this. Oh, we have a winner. Congratulations.
Well done.
Oh, you've got loads. Which number?
838.
Let's just say we believe you.
Wait.
And the last prize is 2 tickets to join me, us, on the, I've forgotten the name of my show, live from N5. Live from N5 show here at Arsenal for the Villa game. It will be great fun. We'll have some brilliant special guests on. I don't know who yet.
Okay, here we go. Last one, pink, and it's 652.
652 pink,
652.
yay! Come on up. Oh wait, we don't have anything to really give you, do we? Uh-huh.
He's just going to come up and prove it.
Oh yeah, sorry, just prove it, please. 652.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Excellent. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Brilliant.
I'll see you
We
soon.
look forward to seeing you on the show. Yeah, brilliant. There is one more prize up for grabs, and it goes to someone that is behind tonight's event. You know, this is all of the people involved with the AST. It's all voluntary. These kind of nights don't just happen just like that. A lot of hard work has to go into it. There's been a bit of a whip round, and Akil, you got a bottle of JD. You got a bottle of JD. There you go, much deserved. There you go.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, this has been lovely. Have you guys enjoyed yourselves? I've had a lovely time. Thank you guys so much, Clark. It's been a pleasure. Akil, I don't know if you have any last words. No, he's just buzzing with the alcohol, to be honest. The bottle. Love that for you. Thank you guys so much for coming and all of your support. It doesn't go unnoticed. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and we'll see you soon. Come on, Arsenal!
Thanks, everyone.